Sometimes you just have to be a bad guy. My apologies for my voice. My voice went a little bit, so I'm struggling with a throat infection. But I'll do my best to deliver as much information to you as possible. So let's have a look at what's coming up this week. Sometimes you just have to be a bad person. This is pretty much what the week is about, because we start off with an energy of Mars making a trine with Neptune that basically gives us the courage to fight for our own rights. It also allows us to help somebody maybe rectify some sort of issues. But Venus that is making the square with Saturn can basically bring a little bit of a feeling of loneliness, like we are fighting with something, like we have some sort of delay. So even though we are fighting, we are trying to push forward. We are trying to fix issues and hopefully deal with conflict. At the same time, we are unable to do so to the extent that we would want to, simply because we feel that energy is a little bit too much. So watch out for a little bit of a burnout energy the closer you get till the end of the day on Monday, because we will feel like we want to move forward, but we can't. Loneliness within a relationship could also be common, so don't be surprised if you feel like you've lost your way. And on Tuesday this will follow, like we are lost in where we're heading, like we don't know what we can do. The closer we get to Wednesday, Mercury will make an opposition with Uranus. Watch out what you say. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We might hurt somebody can hurt us, we can be pushed, we can notice that there is a chaos in our life, and we might actually tell somebody what we feel and how we feel about them. We can feel that it's basically a time to maybe talk about certain secrets, certain issues that we've been dealing with. On top of that, watch out for changes in your plans. You might feel like you are pushed in a different direction, like we are unable to do something, like we are stuck in between. So don't be surprised if out of a sudden you have to deal with that sort of energy. On Friday, we have Mercury making a trine with Neptune, which is lovely. This can give us a lot of sensitive energy, being sentimental, very warm discussion. But watch out for people lying. Yes, they will lie. They will say things that aren't there. They will discuss things that maybe aren't true. You might feel like you want to heal yourself, but at the same time can't. And the new moon in Scorpio, this is very much like a renewal energy. A new moon signifies a new beginning. So we might feel like we have to fight for something, like we have to transform something. Because it's making a trine with Saturn, and we've got that Mercury making a trine with Neptune, it's got a lot of emotional energy. This can be a time when you have to decide where you're heading, what sort of things you want to do, what is your idea for the future. This is the time when you have to basically take a step forward, when you have to decide what your future will look like. It's like planting the seeds for autumn, so that they will burst out in spring. So we might see that maybe the tulips are being planted, and you might notice that you are planting something so that you will gain the results of that in about 6 months' time. On Saturday, we have a very lovely energy. So Mercury will make a trine with Mars, and Mercury will make a sextile with Pluto. That gives us a very strong, deep talk. Maybe talking about secrets, maybe acting on something, maybe we will have the push to move forward. We can be very productive. We can feel like out of a sudden we are catching up on a lot of energy, things that we couldn't do. It also speeds up any trips and any decisions. You might feel like you are regaining your speed in your action. And slowly after, on the same day, Mercury will move into Sagittarius. Mercury is in a detriment in Sagittarius, so it's not necessarily the strongest, but at the same time, it allows us to have a bit of a break. We can feel like we are more interested in fun, like we want to have a life, like we want to live, like we want to enjoy ourselves, like we want to, we can start asking ourselves questions about the future, where we're heading, what we want to do, what sort of people do we want in our life, and we can reconnect with people from the past or abroad as well. On Sunday, we've got Mars making we have Mars making an opposition with Pluto and Venus making an opposition with Jupiter. Watch out what you wish for, watch out what you say, watch out what sort of promises you do. We might feel like we are promising too much and we can't deliver, or somebody promises something to us and they can't deliver. There might be some sort of trips, false arguments, a lot of anger, resentment coming to the surface. We might feel like we are lacking control, like somebody is trying to push us down, or somebody is trying to show their true motives to us. We can feel like there is a lot of hidden agenda going on. People might be saying things that they wish that something happened, but they couldn't move and do that. And on top of that, we've got Venus making an opposition with Jupiter, which gives us plenty of a fun energy. It's just before Mars moves into Leo the day after. So we might feel like there is a higher energy within us, like we are becoming a little bit more optimistic, but promising too much, spending too much. We can feel like we will have to look at into other people for money, or we might spend more money on somebody else. This is also a time to have fun, but think before you act, because it can basically go all over the place. My cat is usually coming over, so bear with me a second. Oh, sweetie. So we've got, for all of the signs, this will be affecting all of us in a way, but for certain signs, it will be stronger than for others. So I'm looking at an overall energy. For Aries, this is very much about your 8th house, about money, shared resources, secrets, dealing with situations of anger, talking more about home, family. Maybe you might find out certain secrets. Maybe you might realize something. Maybe you might feel like you have to move forward with certain ideas. This is all about maybe deciding about a business, about an investment. You might feel like you need to talk about some sort of ideas that you wanted to move with. The new moon will start something that will basically grow into spring, and it will probably burst out sometime between March, April, July, June, May time. So this is when we're going to start seeing the results. Mercury will give us a bit of a more movement, more fun, loving energy. Watch out for the family relationships. There might be issues, there might be discussions, there might be very heavy energy within your family. The closer you get to the weekend, watch out for discussions, fights, and other things and other issues of that sort. For Taurus says, watch out what you say. A lot of relationship fixes. So you might have to deal with feeling quite lonely, not supported, but at the same time, the closer you get to the weekend, those discussions will become different. Watch out for trips, faults as well with your 3rd house. Watch out for health. You might need to deal with your health a lot more during this week. This is also a time when you might think about repairing your relationship, repairing your confidence, gaining that support from your partner. But on Monday, there might be some sort of issues within your relationships. Watch out what they say. Between Monday and Wednesday, this is a very heavy energy. By weekend, it gets much easier. Watch out for delays and issues within your family closer to the weekend. For Geminis, this is very much about work. You might change your habits. You might decide you want to sign up for a different work. You might feel quite lonely during this week, family-wise, and quite sentimental. But at the same time, you are changing your routine. Maybe you are putting on a diet. You are starting a diet. Maybe you want to change a job and move on with that. Once Mercury goes into Gemini, you'll be more active with people and having more fun with them. Watch out for issues with finances the closer you get to the weekend. For Cancer, this is a very heavy family energy. Kids, children, dealing with romance. Watch out for romance. Watch out for your family engagement. And if there are children involved, there might be fights about children and how you act. Maybe you are not acting fair with someone. Maybe you are putting somebody down. This will be a time when you might feel like there is a very heavy energy around your romantic life. But it also gives you the courage and plenty of ideas to start something new business-wise, especially that Mercury will move into your 6th house and you can start feeling some sort of changes at work. Watch out between the weekend and Monday about issues at work. For Leos, this is a time when you might have to deal with some sort of family issues, problems with children, delays with children, erupt energy with family in general. You might have to catch up on something. You might have to work harder to get certain things in place. At the same time, your love life will be put to the test because of somebody. So somebody can put you in a situation where you might have to explain yourself, even though there is nothing to explain. You might realize something about your family and how you want to act. You might be thinking about a property or buying a property or moving elsewhere. Mercury goes into Sagittarius. That will give you fun energy, starting new projects the closer you get to the weekend. Do not drive unless you have to during the weekend, the Sunday. There might be issues with a child and there might be issues with your health over the weekend. For Virgos, this is very much about how you talk to yourself, your self-talk, about making changes to your work, making changes to your idea about life, small relationship issues. So don't be surprised if somebody doesn't listen to you and you have to fight for to be heard. But at the same time, Mercury will be all about acting on certain ideas, about starting changes to your work. Maybe you want to study something, maybe you want to pass a test. Once Mercury moves into your 4th house, you'll be thinking about moving, maybe to a different place, or maybe you might have more guests coming over. Watch out for your family, well, for your partner relationship over the weekend. There might be issues within your love life. For Libra, this is very much about money, about how you value yourself, about how you feel. Very good for work, but at the same time, you might feel like there is too many responsibilities and you can't get the money, you can't get the help that you wanted. With the 2nd house, you might not feel valued. You might feel pushed to the side. You might notice that something isn't going well within your financial situation. You might need to work harder on that, and it can be visible more over the weekend. There might be some sort of issues at home, problems and stress, and quite abrupt situation within your family dynamic. Mercury will move into your 3rd house, so you'll be more talkative. For Scorpios, this is very much about you. It's how you speak, it's what you say, who you want to speak to, how are you being left out. Maybe you don't get the attention that you wanted to, maybe you've been sitting and hiding too much. Issues within family, issues within your loved ones, issues within partnerships. There might be some sort of changes to your finances. You might gain more money, but watch out for cars related issues. Something might break. For Sagittarius, this is all about maybe thinking about moving. You might want to decide that you want to move elsewhere, that you might decide that you want to start something with a property, like you want to move, change a country, go elsewhere, change your job. There might be some sort of changes to your job and your house and your place of living. More discussions about the place of where you want to see yourself in a little while. Once Mercury goes into your sign, you'll be very active and thinking about yourself, and there might be some sort of money issues till the closer you get till the end of the year. For Capricorns, this is all about your plans and friends. Who are your friends? Who you want to be friends with? What sort of relationships do you have? This is all about the 11th house and having the momentum. within ideas. Maybe you are starting a new path for yourself. You might not see the results just yet, and you will see them probably in a couple of months. But whatever you're starting, trust me, it's going to put your life into perspective. You might withdraw the closer you get to the weekend, thinking about work, catching up on work, dealing with work. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm hoping my voice will come back so that I can catch up on all of my solar returns eventually. So with Mercury in the 12th house, you might think about regaining that energy. Very much about communication, dealing with a large group of people, becoming more visible. But also there might be issues within your partners the closer you get to the weekend. So watch out, because you might feel quite attacked by someone. For Aquarius, this is all about your career and reputation. You might see that your reputation is getting better. You might be working on something harder. You might see bigger results to whatever you deal with. So out of a sudden, you might notice that things are moving closer to your future. You might feel like things are basically getting easier for you to be seen. Financially, this can actually speed up some sort of recognition or gain more money, but watch out for your health. There might be issues with children or health of your children or your own health as well. For Pisces, this is very much about your outlook on life. Maybe you might want to change a direction. You might want to talk about things more. Maybe you want to learn and study. You might be thinking more about studying and investing more money into yourself. For Mercury going into your 10th house, and Mercury will be moving into your work, and you might be more active within your workplace. You might be working on more ideas. You might be working on more things to do. Out of a sudden, you'll notice that there is more to do with your career and where you want to be. Some sort of issues with siblings, especially younger siblings. There might be some sort of changes, and your further family. So watch out for that. But the weekend brings a lot of intense energy within your family dynamic. But I think that's going to be quite important for all of us. I'd like to wish you a lovely week, and I'll see you at the new moon video.